G'day guys, welcome back to the Rugby League Guru podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Neds, our official partners for season 2024. You can follow along with all of my bets on the Neds app along with Tom, Eddie, Random Stats Guy, all those guys. Maybe not Rando, actually, now I think about it. That's probably wrong. But definitely Tom and Eddie and Sebo on the Neds app there. So follow along with all of our bets there. If you're on my unit scoopers so far this year, I think you're up about 50 or 60 units. If you're following everything else, you're down a heap of units. So choose wisely there. I haven't so far this year. Now, today's episode, something a little bit different. It was a challenge that was actually sent in the other day by someone in the Roo crew. So I thought that me and Kat would take it on. We haven't seen each other's results yet, but I think you guys should have a go too and leave it in the comments once you've got your results. I've done similar things to this before, but what you have to do is pick a 1 to 17. So in their usual positions, 1 is fullback, 6 is 5'8", etc., all the way down to jersey 17. So for me, you might choose 14 as a utility, couple of forwards. You might go for a bit of a Brad Fittler bench and pick a heap of outside backs there. We'll see how it all plays out. But 1 to 17, and of course, you have to pick one player from each and every NRL team. So 17 players, you have to build the best squad that you can. There's no order or anything. You just have to build the best squad that you can. And what me and Kat are going to do, Kat's going to have the NRL ladder up in front of her, and she's going to go from the top to the bottom or from the bottom to the top. I'm going to let her decide that. And we're going to go through and talk about which player we pick from that club. So we've both got our 17s already picked. If you guys are playing at home, what I would advise doing, get out your dog and bone or get out some pen and paper, go 1 to 17. And as Kat reads out the team, maybe pause the podcast or pause the YouTube, write yours down and see how you go. And as we're building them, you can see how yours are different to ours. Now, Kat, we just went and got a bit of lunch.
I don't know where this is going.
And we were both putting our teams together.
True.
I had a little head start, so I was sort of done by the time we sat down for lunch. It was the quietest lunch I've ever had. You were deep in the books, deep in the study.
I was. It's really difficult.
Yeah.
It
is tough, isn't it?
I think because it's almost like your dream scenario, right? Where you could pick your favorite from any club, but then I would start scrolling through each club and go, but I want 3 or 4 of these players.
Yeah.
And then there are some teams where I would maybe not even pick someone if I didn't have to.
And you have to pick someone from that team. So do you take their absolute best player who might be in a position who might be the 5th and 6th best in the comp? It's a lot harder than you think. And it's also a lot harder when you know you have to present it to people too, isn't it? A bit more pressure.
Obviously, this is literally the Rugby League Guru Network. And
you're dealing with a lot of rugby league nerds.
I am. What I would like to say,
you know what we love about rugby league though, Kat? People that have a red hot fucking crack though. And that's what I love about having you in here.
Yeah. And I know that I've picked really good players.
I've no doubt you've picked
objectively good players, but they're also players where their positions are in contention with other really good players.
Yeah, exactly,
so I don't think you can be wrong here.
I don't think you can be wrong, no. It's going to be interesting, and I would highly advise you guys have a crack at home. You might even want to pause the podcast now and write your 17 right now and see how you go, see how it compares to us. And I would love for you all to leave your team in the comments. I would also love to hear where you think we got ours right, good decisions, wrong decisions, who we maybe slept on or whatnot, because I'm sure there will be guys that we've slept on / forgotten about in all this, because it is tough. It's a lot to take in, a lot to squeeze in there. Where are you going to start, Kat? Top or the bottom of the ladder?
Do you know, I really liked the idea of starting at the bottom of the ladder because maybe as we get more to the top, we might have more crossover in decisions, but we also might not.
Might not, yeah. I have no idea how this is going to play out.
Yeah, I don't know how to best play this out.
It's your choice, top or bottom?
Yeah, I'm just having a think. What feels... Do you know what? Let's go from the top and we're going to make our way down.
Go from the top. Okay.
The decision's been made. Okay. So I'm going to throw to you first.
Sure.
Who have you picked from the Melbourne Storm?
Okay. From the Melbourne Storm. And this was one that I actually changed around throughout my selection process. I ended up going with Cam Munster from the Melbourne Storm. Now, obviously, guys, you can pick guys just from their squad. They might be injured right now, but it's just whoever you want. I've gone with Cameron Munster. I've picked him at 5'8". I originally had Harry Grant in the side. Then as we were walking to lunch, you actually made me think about a different angle, which we'll get to soon. But I've ended up going with Cam Munster at 5'8". Melbourne, a tough one. A lot of quality players, obviously 3 or 4 absolutely outstanding guys there. But Cam Munster, I think if you were picking the Kangaroos side today, I think Munster would be a 5'8". So I think it just makes sense to take him. Who have you gone for?
I think mine's going to shock you, and it's because Melbourne, funnily enough, was one of the last spots I had left on my team. And so I also had to pick based off position.
Which plays an important factor in all this.
Right.
And that happened to me too with another very good team.
Yeah. So off the bat, if I had free reign to pick anyone, I would have immediately gone for Harry Grant at 9. But that spot was already full.
Yes.
So I weighed up the pros and cons. I looked at my team and quite a tall advantage on the wing.
Yes.
And I decided that just to complement that, I would put Xavier Coates at 5.
Xavier Coates, nice choice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very good choice.
So there you go.
Yeah, obviously, a state of origin player. I think if you were to pick the Australian side right now, I think Coates would be a lot closer than what people probably expect. He's having an incredible season. I think that's great.
Yeah, I think he gets slept on a little, but then in the likes of Origin, he's such a standout. So
well, it's funny at the start of the year. I'll be honest, I'm not sure if I had him in my Queensland side. He was sort of a fringe whether he was going to make it or not. Fast forward to Origin selection, he was probably the first outside back that I was picking. This fly cat, there is going to be an atrocity in here soon. Brace yourself. He's quick too.
The fly.
Beautiful.
A little cheeky CBA.
So we've started with Coates for you, Cam Munster for me, which means that you must have another good 5'8" up your sleeve, which I'm keen to see. And this is where these teams are going to have pros and cons in different spots, which is going to be interesting how it plays out. What's the next team? And do you want to go first on the next one? We'll go 1 for 1.
So this was Sharkies.
Yeah.
So this was once again based off of the order in which I picked positions,
Yeah.
but I've thrown Cam McGuinness on my bench. He is number 16.
Yeah, Cam McInnes for me too. Exact same thing. It was one of the last teams I had. A lot of quality players there. I almost picked Hines as my 14, but I went in another direction with my 14. So yeah, Cam McInnes made it for me too. It's wild with the Sharkies. They've got this incredibly good forward pack, but it's because there's so many of them that are so good. There isn't like a standout Payne Haas. Well, there will be an AFB next year. But I think Cam McInnes, he was the one that made the most sense to me as well.
I also just thought to myself, similar to building out the Origin squad, if any of those players that you need for pure strength get injured, Cam McInnes just jumps right in there and saves the day.
And Cam McInnes is one of those guys, he would put his head where most wouldn't put their
feet.
Very good. Very good. She's listening.
I almost said face.
She's listening to me. We love to see it. Next team, I'll go first.
Yeah,
Who
you
is
go
it?
first. It's Panthers.
For me, this is probably I think this was my first pick overall. I had to go with Nath Cleary.
Yeah.
I think it's the most obvious option. Halfback, be the same.
Yes, I was the same.
Probably no need to
I don't think so.
dive too
I think
deep in there.
It's fair to say that there are a number of Panthers you'd happily have on your team in various positions. But if you're going to pick just one, it's got to be Cleary at 7.
It's got to be Nath. Has to be.
Yeah.
Who's
All right.
next? It's
So
your
then
pick.
we've got the Finns.
Oh, yeah.
We've got the Finns at 4th on the table. Another one, I've picked Mark Nichols on my bench.
goat.
I want him
On
on my
your bench.
bench.
Yeah,
just
nice.
another backup option, reliable, brings just pure authenticity and just pure strength to the squad.
Because I think that's the other thing we need to consider with these teams is that you also need locker room guys too.
You need just.
I thought you almost swallowed the mic there.
Got knocked out by the mic there. Just getting very passionate about Mark Nichols, but it's exactly that.
Yeah.
And I was actually weighing up like a Jesse Bromwich or like Mark Nichols, just thinking, once again, I was left with the Finns towards the end, but just thinking who would bring in the right attitude.
Yeah, I was left with the Finns towards the end as well.
Who'd you pick?
But it actually worked out really well for me. I needed a winger, and I just think Jermaine Osako
Oh, stunning.
every day of the week. So happy to take him from the Dolphins. So we've already gone through half of your bench
Yeah.
in the first few picks. Interesting. Who's next, Kat?
We've got the Durs.
The Durs, the Raiders. I went from the Raiders. Probably a little bit of bias here because I absolutely love. I mean, he's obviously a very good player, and I'm interested who you went, but I went for Hudson Young.
Yeah, I
in the
knew you'd
second
pick
row.
Hudson Young.
Yeah, I'm a big Huddy guy.
Yeah, big Huddy guy.
Who'd you go for?
I picked Joe Tarpany at 10.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Really like
yeah.
that.
Once again, it just, I think also when you just look at those Raiders names, he's such a standout.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. And by the time I got to the Raiders, I already had my front row forwards. So, yeah, I think Huddy was the most obvious for me, but I'm very jealous. I wish I had a Joe Tarpane. Now I think about it, I wonder if I should have put him in on my bench. Anyway, next up, your pick. Who you got?
This one's the Roosters. I wonder who you think I picked for this. Who do you think I picked?
So I know that you have already got, I think it's someone in your starting side.
Correct.
I reckon you have gone for, I reckon you went Angus Crichton.
Incorrect.
Who'd you go for?
I've got Dom Young at 2.
Fuck
Dom
it,
Young
that was
on the
so
wing.
obvious.
Yeah,
I should
it
have got
was
that. That's so
obvious.
stupid by me.
Yeah.
Of course you went Dom Young. Fuck. Nice pick. I like that.
Yeah.
Dom Young. So you got Dom Young and Xavier Coates on the wings. Kick targets, big bits of gear.
Yeah,
I like
on both
it.
sides. On both sides.
Very good. I like that. Now, Roosters ended up being a late one for me. I couldn't quite maneuver them in somewhere else. Other people kept them being more appealing to me. And it's a bit weird that you don't pick someone from a starting side. I've actually picked Connor Watson.
Okay.
As my 14, my utility.
I know
just
you like
think
Connor, though.
I love Connor and he can play every single position. But very hard to leave out Angus,
Yeah.
Manu, Dom Young, like
Honestly,
all these stars.
Yeah, that's where I think I struggled the most was that those winger centre positions, and I'd love to have all of them in there, honestly.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
All right, so Connor Watson for me. Who's next, Kathmandu?
Got the doggies.
Oh, this was such an easy one for me.
Yeah.
And I'll be shocked if it wasn't an easy one for you. I've got Critter in the
same.
sentence. You got Critter? Yeah.
Same.
Isn't it cool that him going to Canterbury, for me, it was just a must.
Yeah.
I didn't really even, I think he was my second pick.
He was my first pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
it was
that.
it was the one where, once again, there's so many good players on the doggies, but he's just a guaranteed in
He's the
every
guy.
week, day in, day out.
He is the guy. I like
Yeah.
that. Next team, your pick.
Broncos.
The Broncos.
The Broncos. I've got Pat Carrigan.
I was so close to go Carrigan. I got Payne Haas.
Yeah.
I was tossing up those two.
Those were my two that I was tossing up
Have
to.
you picked Carrigan in jersey 13?
No, I've actually got him at 8.
Oh, you put him in the front row.
Yeah.
Okay. Like that.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
But that was purely based on like trying to get everyone that I
which
wanted in.
you're allowed to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've gone for a bit of a curly one later too. Because I didn't think Carrigan would be your 13. I thought you'd have someone else in the jersey 13.
Yeah, I think I might have that person. In
Yeah, I
there.
think I have him too, but
Yeah.
we'll get there.
Yeah.
So I got Payne Haas in the front row. So we both picked a Bronco in jersey 8. You've gone Carrigan. I've gone Payne Haas. I like that. Next up in my pick.
Dragons.
Another really easy one for me. I think you just had to take the best player on the board, Zach Lomax.
Yeah, same.
I've taken him on the wing. I'll tell you what I did seriously consider, Kat. I love Ben Hunt at hooker. I seriously considered taking Hunt at hooker. But there is another hooker that I think is the most obvious from his club. So Lomax on the wing for me. Same for you?
I had him at 4.
Picked him in the centres?
Yeah, I know that's
you've
not
already
his,
got your two wingers.
Yeah, and I know
okay.
that's not his preference, but doesn't mean he can't do a bit of running
He'll
up
do a
and down
job
the
there.
wing anyway. So
For sure.
yeah.
I like that. Next up, your pick.
Warriors.
Waz.
I've got RTS.
In the centres?
No, at 5'8".
Whoa!
Yeah, I needed him on my side, and I only had two spots left, and I was just weighing up my options, and I decided that I'd rather just have him in there and
How
see
on
what he can
earth
do.
did you keep a straight face before when I said, I wonder who she's got at 5'8" if it's not Munster? That's curly. I like that.
It's different, whatever.
Yeah, you got a dominant 7 like Nath Cleary,
Yeah.
just let Roger
But
do his thing.
when I was talking off camera about the frustration of looking at like a Cleary and an RTS trying to work together there, it's probably too much brain power going on between those two positions, but I don't know.
I like it. It's outside the box. I'm a huge fan of that. Very good. That has thrown me. I went for, coming off the bench as a middle forward, I went for Aden Fanua Blake.
Yeah, I like it.
Coming off the bench there. But I seriously considered Roger in the centres.
Very nice.
I think I got to T in RTS and then I backtracked because I knew who else I wanted. Who's the next team?
Next team is the Manly Seagulls.
You've rocked me with Roger. I love that.
Yeah.
That's real outside the box. That's good gear.
Who do you have?
Manly
for
Seagulls.
Manly?
I was going to say I've gone rogue, but I haven't gone that rogue. I got a little bit outside the box. I've picked Turbo, but I've shoved him in the centres.
Yeah, fair enough. I thought you might.
What have you done?
Who do you think I would pick? Who do I talk about every single week?
Well, it's not a winger.
It's Ola Kawatu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the back row?
Yeah.
I like that. You're
Yeah.
putting together a powerful side.
But I've gone power.
You've got serious power. Wow. I like that. Okay. Next team and your pick.
So this one's Cowboys.
Tough.
Very tough.
I found this tough.
Same.
Who you got?
I put Reece Robson at 9.
Ooh, that's interesting.
I know. I don't love it either, but I obviously filled up my wing center positions so early. So a few of the others that I would have easily picked just weren't an option. So I thought, you know what, played really, really well.
Killed it.
Over the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
Some standout performances, and I think he'd do it for my side as well.
I think he's had a good 2 or 3 years now. Reece Robinson's been really good. That's nice. The only reason why I didn't consider Reece Robinson is because there's another team that I think their hooker is by, which I'm very interested to see. You might have him in there as well. Yeah, fucking God knows where you could have picked him.
I'm just playing them wherever I want, actually.
Very keen. She might have two guys sharing the 5'8" jersey in her side. I can't wait to see how this plays out. I went for my boy Ruben Cotter in the front row.
Yeah, nice.
Just thought, just lock up a front row spot there. Number of guys to consider at the Cows. I looked at Drinkwater in jersey 14 as a utility.
Yeah.
But I thought, my boy Ruben Cotter, got to try and get him in there. Next team, my pick.
Knights,
another one that was pretty obvious to me. I think the best player on the Knights roster by far and away is the reigning Dalian medalist, Kalen Ponga. So I had him at fullback. I originally had Reece Walsh there.
Yeah.
But then I thought, no, I need to get... if I'm going to take a Newcastle... I have to take a Newcastle player. I think KP has to be the one.
Yeah, I agree. And for me, it was actually a case of wanting multiple Broncos on this side and thinking in order to not use that fullback spot on Reece, I chucked Ponga in there because he's a no-brainer.
Yeah, KP from the Knights, like that. Both of us at fullback. We don't have too many similars. I think is it KP and Cam McInnes? Is that's it so far?
Yeah, I think that's
interesting. I love that.
And we both have a Bronco at
we both had a
8,
Bronco
that
at
was
8.
It, yeah.
True. Oh, and Critter.
And Critter, of course.
And Critter, yeah.
Oh,
All
and
right.
Cleary.
And Cleary,
Okay.
yeah, we had heaps. The more we talk.
Yeah.
Next, and
Eels.
is it my pick?
Yeah.
Eels I left till late.
Yeah, me too.
And I wasn't really sure what to go with. I knew I wanted a forward. Once again, I looked at Dill Brown. I looked at Moses.
I actually wrote Dill Brown.
At 5'8" originally?
Prior to the RTS.
So did I, and then I went with Munster.
Decided that I really wanted RTS on
You
my
really
team.
wanted RTS at 5'8", yeah. I considered them in jersey 14 as well, but then I wanted Connor Watson, so I ended up going with my boy, Jermaine Hopgood. On the bench.
Shock me with that.
Shocked me, yeah. Hopgood into, I think I've gone Cotter into Hopgood the last 2 picks, so no surprises. What do you done?
I've got Junior Paulo.
I thought you would, yeah, Junior. I like that.
Yeah.
Big bit of gear.
Once again, just
Powerful.
power play, which seems to be the approach that I've taken here. But yeah, looking through that parasite, if it wasn't Dill Brown, it had to be Junior.
I'll tell you what, if there's any brick walls near your team, they're going to be petrified. Very good. Next up, and your pick.
Okay, wait.
Where are we up to on the ladder? What are we up to?
We are at
13? 14?
We are at, that was 14. So we're now at 15 with the Titans. And I've got Tino at 14.
You picked Tino in the front row?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, sweet. Sorry, I thought you said Tino as bench number 14.
No, sorry.
I like that.
Front
Tino.
row.
Yeah, I originally had Tino. I then switched Dave Fafita.
Yeah.
I think it's a win-win there.
Yeah.
Whichever one of the, I think they're the two most obvious ones. I looked at your AJ Brimsons and these sort of guys, but I think Fafita and Tino are the standout dudes.
When I clarified with you that injuries didn't count, it was very much so that I could have Tino in that.
Yeah. When we actually had that conversation, Tino was in my side at that point.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
We've got
Next up.
the last 2 teams.
Yeah, last 2.
So that is the Rabbitohs to kick us off.
The Rabbitohs. I think we've both got the same here. I've gone for your inspirational leader, Cam Murray, in jersey 13.
As have I.
Nice pick. I like that. Last team.
The West Tigers.
I can't wait for this. I don't know whose turn it is, but you're going first because I want to know what you've done here.
I've got Appy on the bench.
Yeah, 14.
Yep.
Yeah, nice. Okay, well played. I've got Appy at 9.
Which I like that too. But I see Appy as can jump in and play the 9 if I need him to, but apparently he can also play a 7 if I need him to.
He's playing halfback this weekend.
Yeah, so Appy's a utility.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So my team from top to bottom. At fullback, Kalen Ponga. On the wing, Zach Lomax and Jermaine Asako. From the Canterbury Bulldogs, Stephen Crichton. From the Manly Seagulls, Tommy Trbojevic. Cam Munster at 5'8", Nathan Cleary at 7. Payne Haas in the front row with Ruben Cotter. Appy at jersey 9. Hudson Young and Fafita on the edges. Cam Murray in jersey 13. On the bench, Watson, Hopgood, AFB, and Cam McInnes. What's your team, Catmandu?
Okay, my one.
Announce the squad. Pretend you're an Origin selector.
I can't read them out like that, man. You needed to send me a script for this. All right, so at fullback we have Kalen Ponga.
Nice.
Representing the Knights. On our wings, we have Dom Young and Xavier Coates with Stephen Crichton and Zach Lomax in the centres.
Oh, boy.
A pairing of RTS and Nathan Cleary as halfback and 5'8". And then we have Patrick Carrigan at number 8 jersey with Reece Robson as our hooker. Joe Tarpany, Junior Paulo, Olakawatu, Cameron Murray and Tino make up our brute force in the forwards with Appy, Cam and Mark Nichols on the bench.
I like it.
I think I read that out a bit like a football team.
Yeah, that you threw me for a second there, but we got it. Very good, very good. I really enjoyed that.
That was fun.
I would challenge people to give it a go themselves. Have a red hot crack at it. Put together your 1 to 17, one player from each and every club. I think it's pretty evident that Catmandu's.
Oh my gosh, sorry, the camera was on me.
I think it's pretty evident that Catmandu's going for a real power forward sort of approach, which I like.
What would you say your approach is?
Honestly, I think mine's just more of a generic sort of rugby league plan. I think there's like you've picked a very particular team to play a particular way. I think I've just sort of put together a team that I'm really happy with. I've got a spine that I love: KP, Cleary, Munster, Appy, Cam Murray. Power on the edges, got different edges in Hudson Young for feeder. Picked a bit of a smaller bench: Watson, Hopgood, McInnes. AFB's my only big body there, so they're going to be big and they're going to be mobile. But I've also got Cotter and Haas in the front row who play big minutes.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm happy with the side.
Yeah.
Leave in the comments, guys, your sides, please, so we can have a look at them. Other people can rate them and whatnot. Have a red hot crack at it. Don't be throwing out comments judging other people's if you're not having a crack yourself. So chuck it in the comments.
You can judge mine. Yeah, you can judge mine though. But judge it and then tell me who you would have replaced it with.
Yeah, don't just who's shit. Give us.
Yeah. I mean, no one on there is shit. Like
no
let's
one.
Be
No,
real.
no.
Yeah. I think I just built out like a dream super coach. If I had no
salary cap.
No salary cap.
Yeah, very good. So yeah, leave in the comments your team, your thoughts on our team, where we went right, where we went wrong, etc., etc., and stuff. And go and have a look at the Neds app, guys. Go and download it. Have a look at our profiles there and follow along with all my bets, Tom and Eddie, Sebo, all of our bets from about even across this weekend in the NRL.